Yeah, there we go. Hi, go ahead, Sal.
Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon from wherever you are. It's exciting to have you finally on the call. My name is Saleh Maitala. I'm the IBM University Relations Leader covering West Africa. And I'm very much excited to have this webinar with you to share some of the exciting programs that we have for Africa, and I'm hoping that it will be of benefit to you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Ola, do you have, who's going to be sharing the presentation?
So we're working on getting it uploaded, but Joe, if you have it pulled up on your screen, can you share your screen with everyone?
Oh, I think he's on mute, or we cannot hear you, Joe. Oh, there we go. Okay. So here.
So Saleh, we would have the presentation in the background, and if you could just walk us through, let us know when you want to switch slides and all that.
Okay, perfect. Again, good afternoon, everyone. Good evening. I'll just do a brief introduction of my team and what we do for IBM in Africa. And I'll hand over to my colleague, Aminat, who would take us to do this particular program that we have. So IBM, as you know, is a technology company. We've been in existence for more than 100 years. We've served a lot of clients around digital transformation and productivity, and we're also at the forefront to see how we can reinvent ourselves. Today, we are proud to call ourselves a cloud and innovation company, where we focus on cloud and artificial intelligence. Specifically within university relations, we're trying as much as possible to see how IBM can create long-lasting relationship with academia, so that we can see how we can bridge the gap between the skills that the industry requires and what the academia is churning out. So today we're excited to share with you some of the initiatives that we have, particularly around Africa, right? 2 years ago, our CEO, Ginny Romeri, launched a program called IBM Digital Nation Africa. And the whole objective and the mission is to see how we can empower African youth with key digital skills and tools so that they can improve their lives and provide access to a wide range of opportunities. We provide access to over 80 courses today on the platform, all totally available to you for free, over 280 hours of learning. So I would stop here, and perhaps I would invite my colleague Amina to take over the presentation and share with us what we have. Okay, Amina. Is Amina on mute, or can you hear us, Amina?
She's on mute. Yeah, I just, maybe let me see if I can unmute. Oh, okay. There we go. There we go. I think now it's working. Yeah, there we go. Thank you.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hi, Amina.
Okay. All right. Okay. Good afternoon. Good evening, everyone. Hello?
Yes, Amina, you can go ahead. I think we are all on mute.
Okay.
Yes.
So just like Saleh has said, he's given us a general introduction to, how Digital Nation Africa came about, and, where IBM has in mind that it should go. So I'll be going more in detail to what the platform is all about, what the program is all about. First of all, I don't know if there are any of us here who have successfully signed up for the platform or possibly attended a webinar. Can we have like maybe a show of hands if you've signed up for the platform? Okay.
Yeah, there's a few of them.
Okay, just a few of them. Okay. Okay, very good. So the entire platform, it's cloud-based and it's powered by our artificial intelligence, which is one of the things we'll be getting into. So the platform basically takes you on a journey, skilling you across key emerging technologies. So when we say emerging technologies, certain sought after skills, in the job market today or, in our economy right now. So we have things like blockchain, we have artificial intelligence, we have data science and analytics, we have Internet of Things, cloud computing, cybersecurity, design thinking, and so forth. The platform, like I said, it takes you through a journey from what we call the explorer to the innovator and then the new collar. So it's targeted at, large variety of people, be it the students, be it, startups and entrepreneurs, or just any professional who's looking for opportunities with these relevant skills. So I'll be going further into each of the categories, like I said, the explorer, the innovator, and the new collar. For the three categories, they are all based on different proficiencies and different levels. So from basic down to intermediate down to advanced. And they all contain, certain skill sets, helps you be innovative and also find jobs. So in a nutshell, it's your one-stop shop for everything. Okay, can we share? We have a question. Someone needs the link. So maybe Joe, can you help us with the link so they can sign up? Okay. So the first part of the journey is what we call the explorer. And this is basically for people who have no basic understanding. So we don't expect you to have been involved in emerging technologies or to be tech savvy or, have that technical background. You don't have to be studying computer science or engineering or anything tech related to have access to this platform. So just having that interest to learn about emerging technologies is enough. For the Explorer, it's really basic. It just gives you an introduction to what these technologies are. So for example, what is artificial intelligence, what is blockchain, what is data science and analytics, what is quantum computing, just that basic understanding of what that technology is about. So make us aware of these certain things that are already available. Give certain case studies of how these emerging technologies can be applied across various industries. So be it agriculture, education, whatever field set. It's just about having the mindset and knowing what your objectives are, what the end game really is about. Okay, we can have the next slide. Okay, so that's for the explorer. So you just have to have that interest. It's the beginner level. It just gives you. There are a lot of engaging videos that just tell you what the emerging technologies are about. Give you key insights to what people are already doing. Children, adults. Like age is not restricting factor when it comes to emerging technology and when it comes to going digital or upskilling across digital skills. The next part of the journey would be what we call the innovator, and this just helps you spark these ideas. So on the platform, we actually have a track called Get Inspired. It's a host of a lot of case studies, things that would help inspire you. Like a lot of times you may not have good ideas or we're not sure of what we want to come up with. We need something to just push us forward, and then you see something that someone else has done, and it just encourages you and it just sparks that idea, and then you can even come up with something much better than what has already been created or existing. So this is where we would get to know things about design thinking, like I mentioned earlier. So design thinking is just a user-focused approach at coming up with innovative solutions. So how do we look at our environment, look at our communities, and then really understand the problems, and from the endpoint of the user, actually put yourself into the shoes of others, understand. It's mostly about empathy and be able to come up with innovative solutions to these problems. So you're not just creating something for the purpose of creating different solutions. You're creating something with someone in mind or with a problem in mind, and that solution is supposed to create a better situation. Lastly, we have the most advanced part of the journey, which is the new collar. And this is, for people who are looking for jobs. So this is one of the most important or interesting parts, and people are always excited about this. So you don't have to worry. It's not just about full-time jobs. You don't have to finish school. So on the platform, we actually have a job advisor tool where you can be able to put in your skill set. So put in things you've been able to interact with, so not necessarily just on the platform. So prior to interacting with the platform, you put in the information, your skill sets, put in your your background, your education. It could actually even come in what we call a Watson interview. So part of the rules that the artificial intelligence plays
Aminat,
is.
I
Hello?
think I think your audio is not so clear, and a couple of people are having difficulties hearing you. Can you speak out, maybe closer to the microphone, please?
Okay. Is this better?
I think much better.
So far it's good, yeah. But maybe when you go in dialogue, yeah, we'll see. We'll let you know.
Okay.
But try it
Okay.
out.
Okay. Okay, so going back to the journey, so for the new caller, like I said, you can go two ways. Either you put it manually and then just put in your skill sets, or for the ease of things, and which is exactly what emerging technology is about. The artificial intelligence here, gives you an interview where you just have to prompt you for certain questions. You put in this information, and with that, it filters out your credentials, and then it's able to match it to available job opportunities. So not just IBM jobs, so jobs, across different, companies and all that. We partnered with various recruitment agencies to make this possible. And it's not just full-time jobs. So you actually have a filter part where you could put in for full-time jobs, internships, I'm sure as students, that's something that really, would really excite us. So internships, that could, help us with that. And then it filters it out and then matches it based on your skill sets. It doesn't just do that. It then also helps, improve your learning skills. So it then is able to point out, certain skill gaps. Let's say you have skill A, B, C, and maybe you need skill D and E to be, very eligible for that job role. And then you can be able to hop on the learning paths. So the artificial intelligence then suggests, certain learning paths which you could go on, skill up and be the best at what you want to do. Okay, let's have the next slide. So in a nutshell, the platform in general offers a lot of capabilities. First of all, it's online and self-paced, so you don't necessarily have to say you're going through the explorer down to the innovator and then to the new caller, depending on the skill set, your proficiency, or your pace, or what level you are at. You could go through the explorer, it's self-paced, and you can start today, start at your own pace, take a few hours, and go back and keep on learning. You have the journeys, like I said, from the explorer to the innovator to the new caller, and then you have learning paths. So they're structured based on the different emerging technologies. So for example, you have maybe cloud computing, from the point where you get introduced to what is the cloud in the first place, what is cloud computing, how is it being leveraged across various industries, what can you do with it? So learning how to actually set up your cloud account, learning how to navigate through the cloud, learning how to leverage the cloud for your different projects, your different labs, and your practicals. So from just the basic understanding down to the most advanced part. And then you have digital badges. So for each course you complete from basic down to advanced, you get what we call a digital badge, which sort of certifies you, just shows possible recruiters, or just shows people what you're able to do. And then it doesn't just say, for example, okay, you have a data science badge. That's just vague. But there's metadata embedded in those digital badges. So when you post them on maybe your social media pages, maybe LinkedIn, or you could actually even attach it to your email signatures. So what that does is it has metadata that says, okay, what exactly have you been able to achieve, from that learning content? It shows the skill sets you've been able to gain. It shows what you've been able to learn, the knowledge you've been able to derive from that session. So it shows your competencies. And these digital badges just shows that you're credible. It shows that you have what it takes, and it shows that you've been actively interacting with the platform and the technologies. Another added feature or something very interesting about this platform. So the entire platform is free. There's no cost attached. IBM is giving this out for free. And with the platform, when you sign up, you get what we call a Cloud Life account, which lets you to be able to build. So this is your workshop, basically, where you get to do your labs or your practicals. If it's in your blockchain technology you're trying to develop, or web design, whatever you're doing, this is where you get your hands dirty and your field work will be done. So you have a Cloud-based account that gives you access to the IBM Cloud, the services, the software, all the resources you need to be able to explore across the various emerging technologies.
If I may just add something here. So we just made an announcement a couple of weeks ago. We launched another initiative called the IBM Academic Initiatives. Essentially what this does is it gives you access to all IBM software and platforms for free, as long as you are a university student and you're going to use it for academic and research purposes. So just imagine the software that IBM typically sells to our enterprise clients like cloud, artificial intelligence, and analytics. We're exposing that set of software and we're making them available for free to university students. The only condition is you have to sign up using a university ID, which I assume most of you here on the call have. So I'll be sharing the link over with Olamidu and the rest of the team, and I'm hoping that they would cascade down to you guys. Also, just to add, at the bottom of the page, you can see that we have 75 courses. It's actually updated. So as of today, we have around 85 courses and over 280 hours of learning. So we keep refining the platform and we're adding more materials and more content as we go along. All right, Amina, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Sai. Okay, so going down to the job advisor tool, just like I discussed earlier on, this is where you get to create your job search, where you can find different jobs. You can fill those gaps in your learning paths. The platform also has a virtual assistant and live support. So part of what we also have is a chatbot, which is something we want people to also be able to learn how to build. It's not so people just say, okay, a chatbot, and you think, oh, that's so extreme, you have to do a lot of coding. But the way the platform has actually been structured, even down to the courses about coding, it's not just your natural approach or the intense approach. It's very, very user friendly, and it's more of like blocks. I tell people it's more of a puzzle where you just do more of drag and drop, and it's an easier approach to learning how to code and learning how to build a chatbot, and something you can learn just a matter of hours if you're willing to put in the time. So the platform has virtual assistant. It also has the virtual assistant is a chatbot, has a live support for questions that the chatbot may not be able to answer. It's multi-language supported, so we have English, Arabic, French. Yeah, English, Arabic, and French. You get to see, all your courses, the things you've been able to do, your badges. You have your own dashboard where you can, watch your progress. See percentages you've gone far. Let's say in this course, how much more time do you need to finish? How much more do you need to put in? And all that is very visual, and you can even bookmark certain jobs. Let's say you want to apply later, and do all that. And you can have your free access to searching, so you can just search for the courses or search for the learning paths, as they come. We can have the next slide. So going back to the courses, like I said, we have coding, we have blockchain, we have cloud computing, we have data science and analytics, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, Internet of Things, quantum computing. So for the Explorer, which is the beginning of the journey, the courses are mostly 30 minutes, which is just brief, just gives you that, just lets you wet your feet, get that basic understanding of what the technologies are about. And then going on to, you can go to the next slide. Yeah, so when you move on to the innovator down to the new color, it gets more advanced, and it goes to from 2 hours to 4 hours courses. And like I said, for each course you complete, you get your digital badge after you have taken a quiz. So for this quiz, you need to have at least 80% pass mark to be able to be eligible for the digital badge. So you can see how it keeps on transcending. So from just the basic, what is cloud or what is AI, to now getting started with AI, getting started with cloud, where you start getting introduced to labs on, how you could actually leverage these technologies in a more practical approach. Introducing yourselves to, microservices, containers, things that just, help bring those solutions to life. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Yeah, so we can see it keeps on getting advanced. So for the new color, for example, it would be higher than 2 to 4 hours. It gets more advanced to 8 hours, 10 hours. So depending on, the learning path and depending on your point in the journey you're in, it gets more advanced. But there are certain prerequisites when you start moving on to the more advanced courses. So for example, if you're going to take maybe a course now, a more advanced course, maybe data science for decision making, for example, now, you need to have completed the prerequisites of the understanding of what data science is, for example, from the Explorer, certain prerequisites which will be listed out pertaining to the courses. Okay, let's go to the next slide. So the idea is, regardless of what the outcome is going to be, there are two approaches. So either you're looking to find a job, or maybe you're even looking through the entrepreneurial approach. Maybe you're looking to start a job, start a business, create more jobs for other people. There are certain sought after skill sets, in the industry right now, not just even the IT industry, here the business industry, different, industries right now need certain key emerging technologies to make them more functional, because we all know we're moving into a lot of digital disruption, and to keep yourself relevant, it's necessary to just have these insights with these skill sets and be able to leverage and apply this emerging technology. So the idea is you should be able to interact with this emerging technology, so maybe become an artificial intelligence analyst, or maybe a web application developer, a cloud developer, a blockchain developer, a data scientist. So these are just certain key roles right now that are sought after in the IT industry. So actually, the new color was coined by our CEO, Ginny Remeti, and it actually refers to someone who develops certain technical and soft skills needed to work in the tech industry. So in a nutshell, it's more advanced, and you could see that it's from 3 to 10 hours. So like I said, at that part of the journey, it's more advanced and it gets more intense. But likewise, the Explorer or the Innovator, at the end of each course, you still get the digital badge that certifies your learning process. Okay, can we have the next slide? So going back to the job advisor tool, like I said, it matches your skill sets to various job opportunities. So as you keep on learning and your interests may change, your skill sets keep on growing, you keep on updating them, and the job advisor tool keeps on evaluating, keeps on filtering and then matching it to those available job opportunities. So you could actually even search specifically to maybe a location, or let's say you've been interacting with the platform and then you already have a particular job role in sight. Maybe let's say it's artificial intelligence, and you're looking at being an AI analyst. So you can be able to search for jobs that are specific to those particular job roles. And like I said, it does that skill gap analysis, where it then puts you on these necessary learning paths to bridge those gaps in your skill sets. Okay, let's go to the next slide. So going back to when I talked about virtual supports, like I said, we have a chatbot, and to surprise you, or I don't know if it's quite interesting, because when people think about chatbots, they think about just artificial intelligence. But the interesting thing about building chatbots, the main or the ideal technology that goes behind, or methodology that goes behind it, is actually design thinking. Because what do our chatbots do? Our chatbots are basically just, so what is artificial intelligence? It's just getting a computer or machine to be able to do certain things like human being could do. So not everything. So the bots are not here to replace us or take over our jobs, but just more like to support us and give us that fusion where we can achieve more. So the chatbots are actually created not just by coding HTML or CSS and all that. That's not where the main work goes into. The main work goes into actually advertising, putting yourself, like I said, design thinking is putting yourself into another person's shoes. So for example, let's say you have you're building a chatbot for this platform, let's say the Digital Nation Africa platform. which is what we're working with. Let's say this is the chatbot. To be able to create that chatbot, the first thing you think about is, okay, put myself into the shoes of the people who interact with this platform, the users. What are the kind of questions they would want to ask? What kind of issues would they run into the platform? What kind of questions would they want to ask? Really understand it from their own point of view, understanding certain challenges, and then you train that chatbot to be able to provide solutions based on those pre-anticipated challenges or questions. So it means putting yourself into the user's shoes and then trying to anticipate. So you then train that chatbot. So it's garbage in, basically garbage in, garbage out. It doesn't give you what you haven't given it. So that's why I say it's not here to replace us, because in the end, it still needs to be trained by a human being with this information, and then from then you can then self-learn or input the information and then process it better. But this just shows over on the platform the importance of the chatbot, and this is something everyone on this call today can be able to make and leverage for whatever personal use they would want to make use. Okay. Let's go to the next slide, please. Okay, so going more into the digital badges, like I said, it contains metadata that talks about your credentials, the skill sets you've been able to achieve, and you actually get to print out a certificate. So apart from the badges, there's something we call the acclaim. So when you sign up for the platform and you've taken your first course, you've gotten your first badge, the platform uses a third-party certification program called Acclaim. And that's what we use to manage your badges and all that. So if you go on Acclaim, you can actually be able to print out a certificate of these digital badges, which you could use, frame up, just something to show your efficiency.
I think
yes,
people still have issues hearing you. If you can speak closer to the mic and maybe slowly so that they can follow.
Okay. So I was talking about the digital badges. So I said you could actually have different certificates, because I know that's something that a lot of us are always excited about. We want to just have that our name framed there, with certificates. So via what we call Acclaim, which is the third-party system that helps us manage your badges. So when you sign up for the platform, it's linked to your account. So on completion of each course, you get to view all your badges and view your credentials, and that's also where maybe a possible recruiter or someone who has seen it on LinkedIn or seen it somewhere, posted it and wants to sort of verify, what you've been able to achieve or what this badge actually signifies. So from Acclaim, you can actually print out the PDF certificate format, which you could have and keep alongside your badges, just for those who are more interested in having that physical feel. But to me, I think the digital badges go a long way, and we're moving into a digital economy, so that's much better. Okay, can we go to the next slide, please? No, there's something.
And Sally, do you still wish to share your screen?
Yes.
I think there's a.
Yeah, so maybe just before before Amina you finish, I can just quickly share my screen. There are a couple of slides that we wanted to show and I can't see them now. So let me just try that now. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Can you see the PowerPoint?
No.
Okay, what can you see?
Just the IBM.
Okay, just a second, let me try again. Can you see my screen now?
No.
It says like it started sharing, it has started screen sharing, but I don't know. I mean, you should be able to see. I mean, if you're actually screen sharing, Saleh, you should be able to see like a red border on the Zoom, and then it should be able to show specifically. I mean, I would say just share the desktop, because sometimes if you share the application, it will not be visible. So just keep in mind that yeah, so you need to have the file open. So do you have the PowerPoint open, or what you were trying to share?
Yes, it's open.
Okay, it is a PowerPoint, and the first slide is at the IBM logo with a little B in the middle.
No.
Okay, that's your desktop.
Yeah, that's my desktop. Okay, let me just read out my slide just for the interest of time. I just wanted to summarize what Amina shared, and thank you so much, Amina, for that. And just give a high level of overview of what IBM is offering and the value to all of Nexford students. So first of all, like we mentioned, our objective is to see how we can empower Africans with key emerging technologies that will make them to be competitive in the marketplace and also prepare them for entrepreneurship. We understand that there are different career paths, and some of the students might be interested in employment, and some of you might be interested in creating your own companies. So the objective of this platform is to give you like a jump start, like a basis where you can learn what employers are looking for. We understand that there's a huge disconnect between today what employers are looking for in our graduates and what our universities are teaching. So we are hoping that through this platform, we can give you access to those skills. I just want you to have just 3 messages at the back of your mind out of this webinar. So the first thing is you gain skills on key emerging technologies. Second, you innovate and build solutions on the IBM cloud. Like I mentioned earlier, we have software and tools that IBM have made available to universities and university students for free. And I would share more information with the Nexford team after the call. Thirdly, and the last point is for you to be able to search for jobs relevant to your skills. So like Amina pointed out during the presentation, once you are on the platform, you are able to gain skills, and then your skills are now being matched with jobs that are available out there in the markets. So we've partnered with recruitment firms across Africa. In Nigeria, we partnered in Nigeria and Ghana. Actually, we partnered with people like Joboman. So Joboman takes all the jobs that are available out there and maps them to the skill sets that you start on the IBM Digital Nation Africa platform. Currently, we have 86 courses, over 280 hours of learning. So it's almost abundant. We've had people that have gone through the platform and earned over 70 badges or 80 badges. So it's really up to you. I would like to say the sky is your limit and you can try as many courses as possible. One thing that we didn't mention, or I was hoping that we had in the slide, was a section for professional skills, right? In addition to the digital skills, we've also launched 5 key professional skills that can help out in terms of things like problem solving, critical thinking, things like interpersonal skills, how you collaborate effectively with your team members, also a presentation skills as well. So all of these are available onto the Digital Nation Africa platform, and I would really encourage each and every one of you to go onto the platform. It's free of charge. The registration is seamless. All you need to do is just follow the unique URL that we created for Nexford University and sign up. Every week we have continuous webinars. So this is just, we wanted to have this webinar so that we can introduce the platform to you guys. And if you have any specific questions, or if you have any ideas that you want to share with us and you want feedback from the IBM team, we're very much happy to do that. very interesting. We also have a mobile app. So that was one of the key things that we wanted to show during the presentation, right? So if you're on Android and you go into the Android App Store, you can download the platform there and have access to the courses, so you can learn on the fly. So you don't need to be in front of your computer or your iPad. You can basically sign up and continue learning on the go. So I think that's it in summary. I would really love to see all of you guys sign up to this platform and start learning this key digital skill. We're going to work with Olamidun and the team to come up with more initiatives for you guys around how we can improve more of your skills. So things like competitions or even innovation days, right? So I would really love to see more participation and more signups. At this point, maybe we can move into the question and answer. If we have questions, Olamidun, Sheila, any questions so far from the chat? I haven't been following.
Yeah, so if you all have questions, I think we can do them through the chats, just so we're staying organized there. So if any of the participants now have any questions, please ask to IBM and the team. If you have any questions about Nexford and how you can access the DNA program through Nexford, also please ask these questions and we'll be happy to address them now.
We have also the Q&A that I've been answering. So that's another option as well. If you want to ask questions that way, we can do it. So chat and the Q&A. I can man the Q&A. Joe, you can man the chat as well as any other panelists as needed.
So are there any unanswered questions in the Q&A?
I am reviewing those right now. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, some of them are related to the audio and having some issues, but many of the questions that I've answered already, Ola, are related to the presentation and if it's going to be made available after the call, which we are, including the recording. And then some of them were asking about last week's webinar on design thinking, which they're also hoping to receive that presentation as well. So we can also provide that as needed. But for this particular session on IBM, I'm looking at the questions, but.
Okay, there's a question from Moyo Sore about the innovator slides. So Amina or Saleh, do you see this one? It came in at 6:05 p.m.
Yeah, about the innovator slide that speaks about building prototypes and if it allows the capacity to build any type of prototype.
Can you please read out the question? I can't see. There are lots of messages.
Yeah, it says, yeah, oh, go ahead, Ola.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it says, hello, Amina, I have a question based on the innovator slide that speaks about building prototypes. Does the site give us the capacity to build any type of prototype?
Okay, so to answer the question, yes. So like Amina shared during the slide, we provide access to the IBM cloud, right? So each user, once you sign up to the Digital Nation Africa platform, you get assigned an IBM Light account. And then you can now start developing your solutions. You have access to IBM Watson APIs and our other artificial intelligence also APIs. So you can link those APIs to some of the prototypes that you're building. I hope that answers the question.
So I had a question here I wanted to answer. It's about the Nexford courses and the DNA program. It's a great question. So, and Dr. Sheila can add a little bit to this. So the Nexford courses you saw in the presentation, you could package those into two ways. You could package those into, well, three ways. A certificate, you could take an individual course, or you could package that into a Nexford degree. So Dr. Sheila, you want to add to kind of how we are merging those together?
So remember, you know, you have access to different types of credentials at Nexford. So these are credentials that have been built by IBM, and this is only for learners that are located in Africa. So you have the opportunity of getting a badge after you complete each of the different levels as Amina described on the IBM program. This is only accessible through the NEO LMS. So through your learning platform, you are able to complete these courses. I know there's another question from one of you that I saw. I think it's, I'm trying to pronounce the name. I'm sorry if I mess it up. Chidibir, I believe, and which asks about the timeline. It is my understanding, and Amina or Saleh, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that this is available within NEO, the platform, the learning management system. Learners can enroll and they can complete this at their pace. You have already described approximately how long it takes to complete each of the courses based on their level. But if a learner, takes more than an hour or takes more than 2 days or takes more than 1 week, is it okay? Or will they only have that allocated time to complete the course?
Yes, Sheila, you're right. So it's a self-paced platform. So as long as you start your learning, you can continue at your own convenience. As a matter of fact, you can start on your desktop and complete the learning on your iPad or on your app on your Android phone, right? So we try as much as possible to make it as seamless and easy as possible. So once you start the Explorer, I mean, it's like a journey. So you start with the Explorer, move on to the Innovator, and finish up with the Newcomer. Just want to also emphasize on the badges. Badges are extremely becoming very popular with employers. It's one of the best ways to show your proficiency and skills. We've had a lot of people that have given us feedback where they've gotten employment just by showing the IBM badge. I mean, there isn't a more proof that you can show a future employer if you show him that you are proficient in blockchain or in cloud computing or in AI, and you have a course approved and accredited by IBM to show them that. So I would really encourage you guys, get as many badges as possible, post them on your LinkedIn profile, your social media handles, add them to your CVs, and have confidence when you're having your interviews and conversation with recruiters, and that really demonstrates your competency.
I would also, I just real quick, so there was a question about Nexford courses. So again, any of the Nexford courses that you are taking right now that are not aligned with these courses, they certainly all are helpful. The one Nexford course that you could take, or some of you may have taken, is BUS 6120. That would line up with the Innovator portion of the IBM program. So if you've taken Business 6120 already and you want to go back and now look at some of the IBM Innovator courses, you would be able to do that. I'm sorry, go ahead, Sheila.
Yeah, no, there's a question related to access via iPhone. It is my understanding that because this is located within our LMS, our NEO LMS, the same way that you access our courses in our Nexford University courses, within NEO LMS, there's going to be information that points to the IBM DX courses. One of the things that we shared, and this was probably back in October, maybe some of you were already in the program, maybe some of you were not. The Learner Success team had sent information on how to access this curriculum from within NEO. What I will do is I will let them know so that they can send out a communication to all of you on instructions on how to access the curriculum within your learning management system. But yeah, it should be available to any tablet or phone or smartphone. So shouldn't be an issue. Same way that you access your courses.
All right, and there's a question here that I would love both Saleh and Sheila to take. Because I believe IBM and Nexford are both tackling this in a mission-aligned way. The question reads, hello everyone, I just want to ask about the relationship between what we're studying and the skills after graduation. How are they related? So basically, what are you receiving from the program, and how does that support you in terms of your career after you graduate?
Okay.
Well, I can tell you from my perspective, and this is, outside of IBM, there's a lot of, we're constantly collecting insights from existing as well as prospect learners. And as you know, the marketplace has become extremely digital. There's a lot of opportunities, even here in the United States, but around the world, for data scientists, for machine learning, for computer scientists, for big data analysts. And so from what I was able to see in the IBM curriculum, there's a lot of that in there that right now Nexford is not able to offer, but IBM will be able to offer you with those, give you those competencies and those skills. So definitely it's a way of improving, your knowledge and your experience, regardless of your career, whether you're in healthcare or finance or banking. This is really the future when it comes to machine learning, artificial intelligence, and all of these other fields. We are definitely incorporating some of that content as well as learning resources in our curriculum as we build our specializations in AI and robotics that some of you have already inquired about. So you're going to start seeing that we as the faculty members and us in the course development team or the academic team are going to be referring you to some of those content or some of that curriculum that IBM has already prepared to reinforce your learning in the classroom, and then you can take those competencies and skills once you graduate. And I'll relay now back to you, Saleh or Amina.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I mean, like, just to emphasize what Sheila has mentioned, like, we're seeing technology being useful in every single industry. So today you could be in fashion or in healthcare or in education, but technology absolutely helps you to innovate, and to take your business or your enterprise to the next level. So the courses that we're offering are more like complementary courses to what Nexford currently offers you. And you should see it as a way to grow yourself and expand your skills base. Today, employers are looking for people that are dynamic, people that just don't have competency in their field, but they're looking for people that have broadened horizon. A really good story that I always like to share is here in Nigeria. In Kaduna, in the northern part of the country, we had a workshop where we had two ladies who are into fashion design, who actually are university graduates, but they went into fashion design. And before we started the workshop with them, they were very skeptical about technology, and they were like, "Oh, this is really difficult. It's coding. It's for boys, and it's not for us, etc." But we encouraged them, and through our Digital Nation Africa platform, they were able to learn how to code, how to build website using HTML and CSS. And today they are building their own fashion sites where they're advertising their fashion items for people to come and see. So there are several use cases of technology, and the platform we're offering you is more like an introduction. It basically introduces you to the concept of these technologies, and it takes you on a journey where you can build deep expertise and deep competencies in these technology areas. And like Sheila rightly mentioned, technology is the future and digital is the future. I mean, just like we see now with the current situation where we have COVID-19, lots of people are working from home, right? And you need to have those basic digital skills to be able to even know how you can connect, how you can access learning materials online, how you can innovate and build sustainable solutions. So I'll stop there. Perhaps if Amina, if you have any comments to make.
Yeah, like you rightly said, like Shida has said and Saleh has said, it's depending on where you are. It doesn't matter, what field you're in. It's just about, making that difference. How do you differentiate yourself from everyone else? Even going to businesses, what makes you sell better? What makes you different from what the other person is selling, what the person is doing? It's about how you sell yourself, how do you package yourself, like we say in Nigeria. It's all about packaging. So what makes you different is that skill set, that added addition that technology brings that makes you stand out among the peers.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that there's a question, Saleh, in the Q&A that what happens when our learners graduate from the university and they're currently working? Can they still access the cloud profile? Is this still available, or is only as long as they're enrolled at Nexford, or maybe they can access it, but then there's a fee associated with that?
Yeah, so I mean, if you want to access the cloud platform, you have to be a university student. I think once you've graduated, some universities, I'm not sure if Nexford does that. Do you offer alumni email addresses? So perhaps
right now, yeah, we you know, we're pretty much graduating our first cohort of learners from Nigeria, I think the end of this month, but it's part of the projects that we have for 2020. To do, you know, career and then alumni as well, alumni surveys and exit interviews. So one item to the list, but currently we don't have that available.
Okay. Okay. So, I mean, if students graduate from Nexford and they're interested in still having access to the IBM cloud platform for maybe their startups or their businesses, we have several other programs for them to join. So there is something called the IBM Startup Program. It basically helps young entrepreneurs in their early career journeys and gives them access to IBM resources and IBM software so that they can build their platforms free of charge. So if you're interested, we can share details about the startup program, and it has a couple of criteria in terms of what you need to submit, and it has like an application cycle. So you need to apply and get vetted and also be selected for the program. But we'll share more details after the call.
There is one question about IBM having an office in Egypt. I don't know if any of you can answer to that.
Yes, in fact, we have a very big office in Cairo. We have 3 locations in Cairo. I don't know the exact addresses, but I know that we have a client innovation center in Egypt. We have a center of competence where we co-develop solutions for our clients. And then we have the IBM office where we have our sales team and our engineers there. So we have a very, very big presence in Cairo. Yes.
Okay. You know, I'm getting a lot of questions in the Q&A, and this is just, you know, kind of do a global answer because I'm getting the same questions from multiple participants regarding how to access the application and instructions on how to register. So this is available already to, you know, based on your location within the NEO LMS, so the learning management system. Regardless, I will have the learner success team, which is the group of advisors that all of you have, send out an email to all of you, including all learners that couldn't attend tonight's webinar, with instructions on how to access it. So just so you know, because I know some of you are asking the same question, that we will send you instructions, but this is available. You don't need to re-register. As long as you're an NXU learner, you have access to NEO LMS, and you are living in Africa, then you will have access to the curriculum that IBM presented today. So we'll share that after the call, the instructions.
Yeah. Just want to also emphasize that please share the details with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Like this platform is available for free and it could be of benefit to everyone, right? So you don't have to be in computer science or in software engineering, but you could be in law, in medical sciences, in other engineering topics as well, and still leverage some of these courses and learn the digital skill.
So let me ask you something. You don't need to be an NXU learner to complete the course? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not sure what like the word and what does it mean?
Let me jump in. So
yeah,
for Nexford learners, you can access it directly through your LMS. And what that does is it helps us track your progress. It helps us continue to support you and encourage you. Now, if you're not a Nexford learner, you can access the DNA program and it's free of charge. But you have an added benefit joining in through the Nexford angle, because we have a partnership with IBM that involves other things, including, you know, like the industry and employer partnership, this webinar, for instance, and a few other things that support the relationship. So you can do it both ways.
Okay, thanks for clarifying. I'm looking through the questions. You know, there's one specific question. I don't know if any of you can maybe shed some light regarding data science. You know, what specifically are the competencies that are addressed in that program or in that course? I don't know if you have that level of granularity that you can share with one of the participants.
So we have a document that gives like a learning path for data science, and it shows you all the skill sets that you learn under data science. And we can share that with you, Sheila, and Ola after the call, and you can share with everyone. I mean, it gives, like you said, granular details in terms of the skill set that you learn from the data science course.
Yeah, and I'd also say that there's a little bit of misconception on the fact that some of these skills are not transferable. So people think if you take a data science course or if you do something in artificial intelligence, that it's very specific to a particular type of career. But the truth is these are future focused skills that you can use in different areas in whichever career that you're in, and apply that learning to help you think more efficiently, more effectively, and be more sustainable in whichever area.
I am looking, does IBM have a phone app? I'm not sure if this is related to the courses or just IBM in general.
So for the app, yes, we have a mobile app for this program, but it's only available on Android now. So if you go onto the Play Store or the Android Store, you just search IBM Digital Nation and you can be able to find it there. It's free and you can download it and have access to the courses.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Sheila.
No, there's a question about any courses or programming courses or coding courses available in the program.
Yes, so we have introduction to coding, to web design, to Python as well. It's all available there. So we have everything there.
Okay. One question from me, from Nina, regarding if the IBM Digital is like mandatory for Nexford learners. No, this is just an opportunity to strengthen your credentials by, having access to this curriculum, which is innovative, and obtaining a credential, a badge from completing some of these courses that they have set up. And as it was described earlier, the curriculum is set up as, we have lower, intermediate, and then advanced. So you can choose whichever fits your career or your personal goals.
Yeah. I see another question here on what professional courses do you have for entrepreneurs? I think the best course for entrepreneurs will be the design thinking course, because as you know, with design thinking, it helps you to refine your ideas, how you can ideate and build solutions for your target market. So we have 2 design thinking courses on the platform. One is for the beginners, and for the second one is like the enterprise design thinking course, where it's a bit more advanced and you learn deeper information into design thinking and how you can apply it to your particular case. So yes.
Mm-hmm.
I see another question on if a new beginner can start with the new collar program. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So as a beginner, I mean, like Amina shared during the call, we have 3 parts, right? First is the explorer, innovator, and new collar. So if your current skill set is a bit advanced, like you can start with the innovator or you can start with the new collar. But if you just want to start by understanding what cloud is, or what big data is, or what data science is, then the explorer is for you. So it all depends on your current skill set.
Thank you. Ayobami has a question regarding the BBA, but just generally speaking, no, not just business courses, more our curriculum is pretty much business and technology. So we have business and then various specializations, one of them also in artificial intelligence. We have another one on digital transformation, but the core, yes, primarily in business disciplines. Let's see if I have any.
If I can just mention something. So you have people based out of Cairo, and which other Arab-speaking country?
Right now?
Yeah. So apart from Egypt, which
other... primarily, I think the majority of our learners are either from Nigeria or Cairo. I mean, those are the majority.
Okay.
Okay. As far as I know, I'm not. I mean, we were getting some from Asia, but as far as I know, not sure about the percentages of other Arab countries.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So majorly for African learners, majorly West Africa and Egypt.
Yeah.
I see someone saying they're from Libya, so we do have a.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
So we have the platform translated into different languages. So it's also available in Arabic. If you want to learn like data science or blockchain in Arabic, it's fully translated. So you just need to switch the language from English to Arabic. It's also available in French and in Portuguese. Okay.
Great. Mm-hmm.
All right, so I think we're coming to close. Do we have time for one last question?
Sure.
Okay, and I think we can talk, this particular question can be, we can touch on it from both the IBM side and the Nexford side. It's from Kayode a few minutes ago. So it says, this seems to focus on digital skills. Do you have any courses or journey that focus on driving digital transformation, showing how you can add value to businesses using digital? So of course, IBM does have that, and Nexford as well. We do have a digital transformation course, so we can talk about that from both ends.
Mm-hmm. So if I may start, I mean, all our courses are centered around technology and how you can learn the basic skills. So for instance, the Explorer part, it's basically where you can get introduced to the concept of technology. But then as you move on to the innovator, you have courses like design thinking and other deeper technological courses. And also we have, like Amina mentioned during the her presentation, we have a section called Get Inspired. So Get Inspired gives you examples of projects where technology has assisted in transforming industries. So it's where you can have examples where you can replicate in your location or in your country, giving you all the use cases, all the technologies that were involved when developing that solution. And overall, the objective of our platform really is like a skills development and entrepreneurship platform. So you learn how you can be entrepreneurial, how you can develop platforms and solutions.
There's a question around microbiology. So, you know, as we spoke earlier, it's really about trying to align the curriculum that IBM offers to where do you see it within your career as a fit. So, you know, right now it is clear that every industry is impacted by technology. And it's not just because of COVID-19, it's because, you know, the era that we're living. So my recommendation for those of you who are just not coming from the tech savvy industry or not ingrained in a technology sector, that you go and browse the curriculum, you know, look at the curriculum and look at the course descriptions and see if there's anything in there that you feel like, wow, this would really help me in my job. This will help me strengthen some of the skills that I find I will need in my current role, or this will support me in completing a particular project. So don't limit yourself because you're having a background in biology or in the arts, you know, or in a different field. I am sure that you will find opportunities in the content that IBM has offered in this platform that you can adapt and make it useful for your own career. So that's my recommendation. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And I mean, just to also add, Sheila, if you're in water resources or in biomedical sciences, you can certainly use things like analytics or even big data. You know, like you have a lot of data sets or you're trying to do a lot of modeling. And if you go into the curriculum, we have access to analytics courses or big data courses where you can see how you can play with data sets and make sense out of your data. So that's a prime example of how you can leverage technology to advance things like research or to even come up with more conclusions to your problems.
I know there's more questions. I'm trying to clean the pipeline, but you know, they continue to pop. You know, ultimately, I think, I mean, I would say, you know, just to wrap it up from my end is, remember that we live in a world that is interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary. You know, I have a doctorate in industrial engineering. I've worked, you know, in a lot of manufacturing settings, and I have become an industrial engineer for higher education. So my expertise has been designing and building efficient academic operations. So anything right now is adaptable and it's flexible, because this is the world that we live in. I'm sure that all of you in the workplace are working, you know, if you're in finance, not everyone is an accountant or a finance expert. So I'm sure that there's people in there that is big data analytics, is someone that has a marketing background, you know, or a strategist. So open yourselves to the opportunity of diversifying your curriculum and your CV by learning other skills and other competencies that can strengthen your profile and, you know, position yourself as someone different, you know, so you can compete more aggressively in the workplace. You know, we don't want just more finance managers or finance, and we want a finance manager that can do big data analytics, or that maybe can do some coding and run some financial models, right? So that's the way that you need to kind of look at this opportunity, as a way of enhancing your current, you know, knowledge and taking it to a different level.
Yeah. Just to finally mention that to keep the conversation going, and if you have any questions, or if you want to see our upcoming events or new announcements, we have a Facebook group that is very, very active. So I would encourage you all to go onto Facebook and search IBM Digital Nation. I've just posted it onto the group chat for you guys to all see. It's really very engaging. Every single day I go there and see people asking questions, and we have dedicated people that respond back to your queries and guide you in case you have any challenges with accessing our platforms, or if you have any ideas that you want to share with us.
And I know some of you still have questions. I have a question here about meeting again. You know, I think that the team here, you know, based on your feedback, we can definitely schedule more of these sessions, you know, maybe quarterly, every 3 months. You know, when new curriculum comes out, or new projects or new products come out, we can definitely share that with you. So just keep an eye on your email for these webinar sessions with IBM in the future.
Yeah, so with IBM, we'll try to do them more periodically. And just generally, because everyone's sort of stuck at home right now, we're going to scale up on our webinar series. So like Sheila said, please, you know, stay tuned for a bit more. We're going to have different topics that we'll be covering, and finding ways to continue to engage you all through webinars during this time. So with that, I think we can wrap this up. We hope we've been able to answer as many questions, but of course you can go to Nexford's website to find out more information about Nexford, and also the IBM link which we've shared to find out more about the DNA program. We will send an email to everyone who has attended. The email will include both of these links, also a survey for you to take on feedback on this webinar. And for those who are not full-time Nexford learners yet, so I think we have some applicants who are on the call, you would also get some prompts on how to finish up your application, and also a tuition discount code for attending this session. So please be on the lookout for that. All right, so if the panelists don't have anything else to add, we'll go ahead and close.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Have a great, and be safe and stay healthy. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.